on your own. I mean, you do what you want anyway. Okay, really.
Stephanie, you okay?
Okay,
What did you do?
some issues. I think it's diverticulosis or food poisoning. You don't want to spray.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order this evening. Welcome all the commissioners and our guests tonight. So if you could call roll for us, that'd be great.
Yes, sir. Mr. Matt Seal,
Here.
Steve Donahue,
Here.
Kevin Meadows,
Here.
Hubert Allen,
Here.
Steve Rosen,
Here.
Harry Donahue, Wayne Flippin.
Here.
Okay, may we get a motion on the agenda, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adoption of the agenda as presented.
Second.
Matt Seal,
Yes.
Steve Donahue,
Yes.
Kevin Meadows,
Yes.
Hubert Allen,
Yes.
Steve Rosen,
Yes.
Wayne Flippin.
Yes.
And we'll move on to the major subdivision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. This evening, I have for you a major subdivision. It is sub 24-62 Goshen Trace. The preliminary survey was received on December 31st, 2024. This new subdivision will create 8 new parcels. All will have adequate road frontage on State Route 654 Goshen Road. And all of the parcels range in size from just over 2 acres to just over 25 acres. The preliminary plat has been deemed complete and in an approvable format as it meets all of the county's ordinances. VDOT and the Health Department have reviewed and endorsed the approval of the subdivision survey as presented, and the Planning Commission is required by ordinance to approve or review the preliminary plat. Here we have the subdivision survey itself. I know it's kind of hard to see, but we do have that subdivision file in your packet as well. It does show the 8 lots. Most of them are on the south side of Goshen Road with the one remainder tract on the north side. And here is the aerial map showing what the property looks like right now. And then we have the topographic map showing the lay of the land for the potential parcels. And then we also are required to receive a soils map, and that was also submitted in accordance with the ordinance as well. So that is what I have for you this evening. I'll be happy to answer any questions that the Planning Commission may have.
Anybody have any questions, comments about the project?
One property owner?
Yes, one property owner, JCM3 is the property owner. I did meet with the property owner, the applicant, and discuss, instead of having all of these lots front on 654 on Goshen Road, to look at installing a private road to access the lots, but with the lay of the land, they said that would not be feasible for this tract. I did let them know, though, that going forward, that is something that the county is looking for. Instead of having lots cut up kind of stripped on the main road, we are going to be looking for private roads or VDOT roads that will have one entrance for multiple parcels going forward, so they're aware.
Such as a cul-de-sac type?
Yes.
That's good. To cause more problems.
I'm sorry?
I said to cause the problems we're already
Yeah.
talking about. So.
Have we had any input from Peter Francisco Soil and Water District? I know they're not required to look at them, but in going through some of the maps and all, I I note that we have service ranging anywhere from 2 to 25%. And some of the site is already marked highly eroded. Now, any conversation on how he's going to control once he removes the trees on the property from additional erosion?
So I'm not sure what you mean by it's already marked highly erodible. Peter Francisco has not reviewed this plat, they're not required to. And
I know
that's
they're
not
not
something that
required
we've
to.
done in the past. That's not something I've been asked to do, so I have not done that. But when it comes to clearing land for subdivisions or for houses, so with the way that this proposed subdivision is laid out, each lot would have to get a separate E&S permit through my office before they start clearing land. And that has to be done per state code.
Right.
If this were a subdivision where a private road or a VDOT standard road were to be installed, they would have to have a separate land disturbance permit for the road itself, and then an agreement in lieu of a plan for each of those dwellings to manage the potential for E&S runoff.
And there are plenty of standards, both state and local, to account for erosion when you're building a house, right?
Yes, so our local ordinance actually refers back to the state code for E&S, for erosion and sediment control. Yes.
Any other comments, Commissioner Allen?
I'm just a little concerned, you know, a home could be situated anywhere on any of those lots. And if you look at the aerial view, and you look at map unit symbol 32D, Section 32D has 15 to 25% slope. That's on the very edge of one of the property lines. Some of the others are looking at 7 to 15% slope. 15% is a pretty good angle of a hillside. You know, I'd like to have a little more time to study and decide before we make a decision tonight. I'd also like to hear what the applicant may wish to do, because the first thing I want to prevent is somebody having soil washed off of adjacent piece of property onto their property. And I'd like to see, when I look at everything that's been presented, there's been no well, there's some anticipation appears where possible dwellings could be located, but they're not required to hold to that.
Mr. Allen, if I may, the health department has already looked at this survey, and part of the information that they were provided was a soil report, and included in that did show a potential house site, I guess, location. I did not bring that information with me, but I can get that for you.
Right, I knew the health
don't know if
department
that's-
had signed off on it, and I'm
Right.
looking at
What page are you on?
2462, the preliminary plat showing potential siting of houses. If my eyesight is correct.
24 what?
What page are you on, sir?
This map.
2462,
Page
So
two, is it?
answer.
Page 2.
I think, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's drain field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, they're
So the drain field doesn't mean that the house is there, that's.
No, but it's going to be close proximity.
Right, but I mean, that's,
Yeah, it's close proximity to the drain
in
field.
my opinion, is irrelevant to the house, you know? The drain field is gonna be away from.
From-
I mean,
But the home is going to be located somewhere in the close vicinity of where they've identified a possible drain field.
But there's nothing that's, the only plat that I see that's in question would be 2 or 5. Is that right? That's the only one that I see close to the line.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know,
Do that overlay with this, the soil types, it kind of, see what I'm saying? Because that's all pretty level and flat.
I'm asking. I mean, that's what I'm asking. It's like, where is it concerned?
Ms. Johnson, is there not, I mean, when someone goes to build a house on a piece of property, is there not all kinds of regulations and laws about protecting wash off and protecting groundwater and, I mean,
Yes. Yes, there are. And actually, while you all were discussing that, give me 1 second, I pulled up the file. So is it lot 5 that y'all were discussing, the one where the dream field is closest to the property line?
View the map, lot 5 and lot 2 are the closest.
Okay, so I pulled up
Yeah,
lot
am I
5. What you see
I'm not sure
here
what the problem is.
is the soil work that goes to lot 5, and the rectangle in the top right corner is the drain field area, and then it's kind of hard to see, but right here is the house site. So it does show where each dwelling is going to be in approximation to the drain field area.
Proposed.
Right, proposed house site, because the house has to be so many feet from the well, and then the drain field has to be so many feet from the well as well. So the house site may shift south a little bit, because they have to be 25 feet from that northern property line up here. So there may be some shift in the house location. But generally, once the house sites the potential house sites are chosen and put on the soil report, that's the general area that they normally go in.
Can they get evaluated, or as it, the flexibility allows, it's going to be reassessed to make sure that it's within compliance to each one of those lots or plots
Right.
to have its own ENS?
So this soil work that's done is just to say that, yes, it is perkable. The land will perk for either conventional or an alternative system at the subdivision level. When it comes time to build, each of those lots will be required to you'll have to go to the health department to get a permit, a dwelling septic permit for each lot. At that time, the exact locations will be chosen and determined.
So, Mr. Allen, what more information are you looking to acquire?
Well, I'd like to have a little bit more on the soil that we're doing, and to be very honest, I'm not sure additional homes are needed in the county. Homes are a negative revenue throat for the county. We need the business, industry here, rather than losing land for homes that are going to be a tax burden on the county.
We can't have businesses without people. So, and housing is a needed thing, and I'd much rather see single-family homes than apartments.
I have no problem with apartments if they're in the right location.
Well, that doesn't help anybody actually trying to build ownership and community though.
You'll never see apartments.
Sorry?
I mean, I said you'll never see what I call apartments. You'll never.
I don't know, we might. I mean,
I could see there being small apartment, in the 6, 8
I can
unit.
see
kind of
two or three
house,
floor
maybe.
apartments, but no high-rise apartments.
Not
I mean-
even that, but it's not.
I'm not like my space, I love Cumberland County,
County.
but I love people too. And, you know, to say that we're not gonna allow people into our county is kind of crazy. Personally.
Well, are you saying you don't want homes built, or are you saying you'd like to figure out how it can become, how we can stop the negative cash flow when the homes come in?
I would like to see how we could stop the negative cash flow first.
Right.
I know at our work session in September, the county administrator was tasked with exploring the possibility of subsidies being paid to the county to offset the cost of additional subdivision coming in. The strain that they're going to put on law enforcement, fire and rescue, school system. I don't know where that stands at the moment. We haven't had a report from the county administrator on it. I just would prefer not approving any major subdivision until we get a status report on that and know if it's even feasible for a subsidy payment to be made to the county for it.
Is this, I understand it's considered a subdivision, but they're each individual lots, they each have their own driveway, am I correct? Each their own home, that's it.
Well, he's worried about the people being a drain.
No, I don't think he's.
I'm not, I mean, I understand what he's talking about, but what I'm saying is that we're not talking about a subdivision. A subdivision to me is, hey, we cut off down this road and we build 20 lots and build 20 houses. That's a subdivision. This is, I bought this land and I divided it into these 7 pieces and I want to build homes to sell them.
But according to the county codes,
Yeah.
there are enough lots here that it's considered a major subdivision.
And I
It's
guess
at the small
that,
end of
so
that.
the term may concern you, but it's something that's not been happening for years and
Yeah. As I
years.
understand,
Am I wrong? I mean, somebody tell me if I'm wrong.
I think I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, you're really talking about a definition of what a subdivision is. You know, how many, to you, a subdivision is 15, 20 or more homes going in an area, not 8. 8 is, like you said, someone buying land and doing something. But according to the definition of the county, 8 falls into that major subdivision category.
So,
Are any of these
I can,
duplexes or apartments, or they're all single family?
What's that?
Are any of these proposed or slated to be, or at any point become either rentals or duplexes or triplexes or?
These are all single-family homes, aren't they?
We don't have any, we haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is just
But
basically
by right-
separating out lots to see what they can build on.
I would say by right, they can be single-family or duplexes. Duplexes are permitted in the A2 zoning district by right. However, in the 5 years I've been in this position, the property owner does not build duplexes. He builds single-family homes, correct.
I only know
then we
two
keep saying that,
duplexes
who
and
is the
two
builder?
zones.
JCM3, it's Calumet.
There seems to be a lot more duplexes than, or at least more than that. I mean, there's some right here in the courthouse, there's some in Cartersville, and some of those are similar. This is interesting because you have, and I think maybe, if I'm not misunderstanding Mr. Allen's, interesting is you might have a little bit more diversity of the buyer, because you have some lots here that are almost a little over 25 acres, 12-acre lots, then you have down to 2 and 3. So I think it's interesting to see how this will work relative to just something where it's cookie cutter, 2 acre, 2 acre, 2 acre every time. This looks interesting to me to see, and a lot of options explore, like Ms. Johnson said, with exploring whether they can have either shared drive, trying to limit the amount of road access points and other things. And I'll mirror again or echo again what I said before. I'd like to see them each, when they are developed, have their own very easily marked for the fire services and EMS services, the address markers, and if there's able to do some sort of agreement within these lots here, like with the drainage field, some of these are close together. Well, it's also maybe going to be a quality of life concern for the eventual owner of these things. Somebody right next to them wants to have a chicken coop, or whether they're going to try to have like a small farm, the noise concerns and hunting and things like that. If they're going to try to shoot or have four-wheelers, sometimes you have the guy that lives in this lot here that's number 1. They might have bought that little lot because they want to move out to Cumberland and have peace and quiet. Well, the guy at 2 or 3 might have wanted to move out here because they've got a little more land because they want to be able to shoot and ride dirt bikes or four-wheelers. But that's not, I don't think, for us to make a determination on. But I think it's an interesting layout to have this diversity of lot size. And I think that's something that has to do with the topography and the slopes there, which this map is helpful. The soil types map showing. I think that's why this.
That has something to do with this.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's interesting. This is a good area here because Goshen Road. I mean, if the addresses are here, that is a pretty safe place, I think, for these road frontages to be, as opposed to having something like this, like Mr. Allen said, on 60 or 45, where you have 55 mile an hour, 10,000 cars a day going through there. Goshen Road, while it will still have needs for traffic, it's not going to be quite as bad as.
I don't have a problem with the individual drives or anything. I think, as Mr. Siegel stated, the speed on Goshen Road is down, it's not a safety issue. I just have a problem with being presented with a major subdivision, and we're going to have a negative impact on the revenue for the county. Is that something we can do? I mean, I don't know.
Do you have figures on how much it costs per resident?
The last figure that I got was for each dollar in tax revenue that was taken in by the county expended $1.37 in services.
This is specifically new builds or just homes in general?
This was homes in general, but definitely, it affects the existing homes are supporting the new builds too. And if you're looking at 8 homes, say each homeowner has children in the school system, 1 or 2 kids, you're adding anywhere from 8 to 16, maybe more children to the school system.
Now, demographically, the schools are not growing that much. So
They're not growing at the moment.
well, so what's the problem? I mean, so do we want to look back 15 years from now and all we have is older people and the schools don't have enough people to actually have schools and the schools go to pot? I mean, you got to have balanced growth. And balanced growth requires people and individual homes.
And they may never come to fruition. So, I make a motion that we, I retract that. Retract that for a moment, before I say.
I've got a question just for clarification, or something kind of different. It says in here that, what you said, that the health department has examined it, but it doesn't guarantee it. So now, these spots that have been identified, how does that work? It might perk, it will perk, but they're gonna have to check it a little bit further to be sure? How does that work?
So the soil consultant goes out and they do test marks with, don't pretend to know how they do their job, that's
Dig a
more
hole and put water in
scientific,
it,
right, and see
yeah.
how fast it drains, that's about the extent of what I know. They then mark that on the survey along with the report with all the technical data from the soil consultant. That goes to the health department. The health department will then say, yes, I agree with the soil consultant's findings. If they are unsure or disagree, then they can go back out and meet with the soil consultant, and then they do what they do until the health department is comfortable with the findings, and then issues a letter for support of approval of the subdivision. Once they are ready to build on the property, that, I believe, that same soil report will go to the health department with the zoning permit that shows what they're building, where it's going, and what type of system they're planning to build, whether it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 5-bedroom, that sort of thing. If that soil report that was initially submitted with the subdivision approval is sufficient for the health department based on their application, then to my knowledge, that's all they need to do. So it's a combination of that initial testing from the soil consultant along with the confirmation of the location of the house that's shown on the approved zoning permit application. That's then submitted to the health department to confirm, okay, we knew it was in this general area, now we know that the house is going to go here, so then that is sufficient in order for them to apply for their well and septic permits.
You know, these little areas, is that the only area in that lot that will perk, or is that just where they test?
That's just where, so it could be just where they tested, it could be the area that the soil consultant felt like it was the best area to build on. It could be where the property owner or the developer said, I want to put my house here. And so that's where the soil consultant was told to test.
So, you know, if someone buys the lot and says, I want to put the house on the other end of it, can they go ahead and have it tested
Absolutely,
if
they
it
can.
perks there, so they can move around?
Yes.
If it tests and all
Right.
that. Because it's like, you know, are you buying a lot that tells you exactly where you gotta build a house?
No.
Or are you buying a lot that you know you can build a house at this point?
Yes.
And maybe you can build it somewhere else? Okay.
Yes, sir, that's
Now, I
correct.
think in this case, these are all going to be spec homes.
Yeah.
So the builder's going to put the house
What,
where it's least expensive for him to build it, yeah.
Well, they do sell lots as well. The developer doesn't just
Just-
separate, build, and sell. They do sell vacant lots as well, so. It could be.
and the rules would be the same?
Yes.
And this is the initial hearing.
I would be surprised if they're all
This
the
is
same house, I mean, because you got some that have, you know, you got so much more land on some of them, they're gonna be different sizes, I would imagine.
So, yeah, for the planning commission, this is your approval of this subdivision. As long as the commission approves the preliminary survey, then that allows me to administratively approve the final subdivision
So
survey.
I make a motion that we approve the SUV 2462 Goshen Trace subdivision.
Matt Seal,
Yes.
Steve Donahue,
Yes.
Kevin Meadows,
Yes.
Hebert Allen,
No.
Steve Rosen,
Yes.
William Flippin.
Yes.
Why do I find myself more in the majority now than minority? It used to be in your position.
A little nervous, aren't you?
I know, I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Okay, so we have some requests for public hearings.
Yes, sir. This evening, I have one request to set a public hearing tonight for conditional use permit 2503. The applicant is Arcola Towers for Verizon Wireless. It's a request to erect a 197-foot monopole style wireless cell phone tower on property located near 913 Trents Mill Road on tax map 39A8. It's a 72-acre parcel zoned A2. It's located just south of the Trents Mill and Hatcher Rural Crossroads. It's designated in the comp plan, and it's within election district 2. I am requesting that the planning commission set this for a public hearing at your next regular meeting, which is 11/17/25.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we set CUP 2503 Lipscomb Cell Tower application for public hearing on 17 November 25.
Second?
Second.
Matt Seal,
Yes.
Steve Donahue,
Yes.
Kevin Meadows,
Yes.
Hubert Allen,
Yes.
Steve Rosen,
Yes.
William Flippin.
Yes.
And we have no public hearings this evening,
Correct.
so let's move on to old business.
Thank you. Under old business, I don't have any updates on code amendments or Cops Creek, other than to say I hope that next Thursday will be the last inspection that I will do out there at Cops Creek. There was one area of concern that they were just literally waiting on grass to grow. So I've asked that they remove the ENS measures that are there, so that way it won't inhibit the grass growth. So hopefully by next Thursday, it should be finalized and complete.
Are they still putting water in the reservoir?
No, sir, it's full.
Well, it seems like they are, because the water seems to get closer and closer to Columbia Road. Every time I ride my bicycle down there, it gets
It
closer and
does,
closer.
yeah, I think it's just finally starting to kind of spread out more, but the intake is closed.
I wonder how they're gonna stop someone who lives along Columbia Road from accessing the reservoir right out their back door. Without going through the front gates.
DWR, I think, is the agency that would be responsible for patrolling the waters. It would be difficult to enforce without seeing somebody in a vessel on the water. There have been property owners who we believe, or Henrico County believes, that have been in the water. They will leave their vessels on the grass right at the water edge, but without physically seeing them in the water, DWR can't really enforce anything yet.
But will they be able to force someone standing on the edge of water fishing?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
I mean, it seems to be, I don't want to say unlikely to happen, but not a major issue, but.
Right, I know that Henrico County owns an easement from the water's edge onto each person's private property. But I don't believe them fishing from that water's edge would be illegal. That would be a question for Henrico County, though I wouldn't be sure to answer that.
And what are they gonna catch right
Oh,
Yeah, if they catch
Probably
it this
cold.
big,
Yeah.
it'd be this
now?
big.
Yeah, catch it going,
Rezoning 2501 Valco Investments, that was the Dollar General, just to provide an update. Planning Commission had your hearing in May, recommended approval to the board. They had their hearing in July, where they referred it back to the Planning Commission for further review. The commission met with the board and EDA for a workshop on August 11. The Planning Commission reviewed the application for the second time at the request of the board on August 18th and unanimously recommended approval to the board. The board reviewed the application at the regular meeting on September 9th and moved to table action on this item. There has been no action on this item to date, and according to State Code 15.2, 2286A7 of the Code of Virginia, the board has up to 12 months to act on this application. So when I hear more, I will pass along with them. Yes, sir.
I have a question back on solar update.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors that some of these solar farms have been canceled. Is any truth to any of that?
I can't speak in generally, but the conditional use permits that have been issued and approved in Cumberland, there's only 2 that have been withdrawn, and that was the Jamerson sites, the 2 small scale. And I believe I had let you guys know about that when it happened, but as to my knowledge, those are the only 2 that have been withdrawn. There is one that we approved in 2021, I believe, it's the Cox Family Solar off of Amptill. They have submitted their site plan, so they are getting ready to start gearing up towards construction. But other than that, I don't have any updates on any of the others.
The one that we went out and visited,
Yes, that was the Sun Tribe.
yeah, they're clearing all that land is almost already been cleared, so something's going on there.
So that one that's still in timber.
Timber, yeah.
Remember, yeah, so the timber company still has the rights to that
Okay,
property.
so they may just be harvesting the timber.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Up until I think the state issues all of their permits for that solar company or for that solar project, in the agreement between the developer and the property owner, which I believe is American Timberlands, but I'm not positive, they retained the right to continue to grow and harvest the timber on that property up until the project was finally approved and getting ready to start
There's
construction.
also along Trice's Lake and, is it Sports Lake Road, is that the other one is?
Yes.
Those are the two areas that have been cleared, right where we were both times.
Sports Lake Road was the Boston Hill project. That's one of the two sites that we went to. That was the Sun Tribe project. And then the other was the Boston Hill project. That was also a Sun Tribe development project as well. So those are the two that I think that we went to.
Okay.
The only two that I know that are in progress were the ones in Southern Company, right there at, I guess.
New Life.
Yeah. And I had an issue with them the other day, I reported that to the sheriff's office. They were moving dirt, we talked about this, moving dirt, they needed to move dirt from one site to the other. Well, they were pulling these, they haul 30, 40 tons of dirt at a time, yeah. At a time, pulling them out on the road. Nobody's standing there. They're pulling out the road, and then they got the traffic blocked coming from northbound or southbound on 45 at New Life with just truck cross road. And I called the sheriff and told him about that. So I said, this is unacceptable. This is not what we approved. This is not what anybody approved. This is unacceptable. I understand they need to move dirt. They got hazards, they got flashes, and those trucks can run, 40 miles an hour. So pull them out there, turn their flashes on, let's go, but we see we take care of it. So that's my only concern that I've seen thus far.
Remind me, what's happening with the tower, it's a church?
Seventh-day Adventist church, that's what I was gonna ask about too.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on information from the pastor, the regional pastor, so
How long are
that's.
we gonna wait? We've been waiting for a long time for that. haven't we?
So I'm getting little bits of information at a time. And I believe my contact is like the regional pastor, so he's not only at this location. I believe that he has people at this location that help him, but he is my point of contact.
Okay.
So,
Do you think that you're getting partial information in an effort to drag it on?
yes.
So what can we do to speed that process up?
I've got a note on my desk to get with our county attorney to
Yeah.
have him step in.
There needs to be some sort of a call to action, a deadline set or something.
Yes.
We need to do something.
I don't think they're broadcast.
I don't think broadcasting is the issue. I
The
think the
issue
issue is that that thing wasn't built, we don't know if it was built to code or not. They're not convinced
understand
of it.
that.
That's the issue.
The broadcasting, and there's no light. There's
Well,
no,
It's it's right at the cusp.
Has to be
if
200 feet
it
to get a light.
requires
they're,
a light
they're
or not.
at 100, that's right.
It's
Okay.
roughly 120 feet, at 125, you have to have it lit. But the concern that I have, and the concern some of the constituents have,
It's flying.
is
The fire.
they are using the firehouse for an LC.
That's right.
And you cannot see that tower at all. I mean, even on a sunny day, the color scheme they have is the worst possible color scheme. I mean, a dull gray finish, it doesn't show
I agree, no, it's not conducive to the actions that you.
Yeah, we,
That's right.
hopefully the county attorney come up with some kind of call to action. They need to take care of that.
up. And we need, I guess we could get their attention by taxing it, because in my opinion, it's not part of a religious organization. put a
That's not-
$50,000 tax on it and see how quick they get this stuff together.
That's for the attorney to decide. All right, anybody, anything else for old business?
I've got, I don't know if we're at that point yet, I got several questions about the planning projects and update. Are we there now?
Not quite.
Almost,
Okay, sorry.
okay.
Okay, we'll move to new business.
So of course, Mr. Simpson isn't here this evening. Planning Department report. Before I get into that, I did forward this afternoon an email to the commission. The joint workshop with the Planning Commission, the board, and the EDA was scheduled for November 8th. And it appears that there will be a few board members, as well as the county administrator, who won't be in attendance because of the VACO conference. And they're looking to potentially reschedule for the first or second week in December. Looking at Mondays and Thursdays for the first and second week in December, I wanted to see if I can get your availability. So Monday, the first Monday would be December 1st, and the first Thursday would be December 4th.
I'm available either of those.
Okay.
I prefer the first, but I can do it.
I'm sorry, what was the date? December?
December
First
1st,
or 4th.
December 4th. First is Monday, the 4th is that Thursday.
I think the Monday would work better for me.
Okay. Mr. Meadows? Neither one, or either one, or?
Try it.
Okay. Mr. Allen?
Makes no difference.
Okay. And Mr. Flippin? All right, so what about the following week, Monday the 8th or Thursday the 11th?
I can do either one, but I would prefer the 11th.
You prefer the 11th?
If it's gonna be that second week, yeah.
Mr. Donahue?
Can't do that Monday.
Okay. About the 11th?
I could do 11th, I think.
Okay, potential. Mr. Meadows, just try it?
You roll the dice.
Okay. And Mr. Allen, either one? Okay. All right, thank you guys. And for the planning department report, I'm trying something new, trying to put everything in the PowerPoint. So for approved subdivisions, we had 156 pending for the month of September. Plat surveys and site plans, 2 were approved and 38 pending. 27 zoning permits issued, 8 residential erosion and sediment control permits issued, with 1 being commercial approved, 1 pending. For development, we have 6 rezonings or conditional use permits that are currently pending. And then, Mr. Donahue, you said you had some questions?
Yeah, I mean, I just did a quick adding up of the pending subdivisions.
Uh-huh.
It's like over 60 lots.
Mm-hmm.
About how many of those actually come to fruition?
I don't know how to answer that because some of the subdivisions that are pending have been pending since I started in 2021.
Okay?
So what I've been trying to do is at 3 years, if they have been pending for 3 years, then I'll finally call them and say, hey, are you still going to go through with this? Most of them say yes, they either had a family emergency or death in the family or something happened that took precedence over this process. And they'll say, hey, give me a couple months to get, back up and going again, and then I'll move forward. And some of them will say, well, I thought we were done because I submitted it to you. And I'm like, no, we have to review it and kind of go through the process. And then there's very few that say, no, we just decided not to go through with it, so then at that point I'll just cancel or void that file. So, but of course that's time, when there's time to go through them and then reach out to them. So.
Right. And we have a 10 lot major subdivision, a 22 lot major subdivision, a 9 lot major subdivision, and a
Yes.
25 lot major subdivision.
Yes. So for Backwater Properties, on page 10, at the bottom, second from the bottom, is sub 2456 is Backwater Properties. That's a major subdivision with 10 lots on a private road. Off of Davenport Road, it's one parcel that they're creating or proposing a private road come in to access all of those 10 lots. That developer had a few different projects going on at the same time, so this one took the back seat while they started building houses on other projects. So that one I anticipate, if not end of this year and beginning of next year, will probably be coming to you guys. Let's see. On page 11, sub 2462 is the one that you guys just looked at. Timber Creek Building, sub 2518. This is 9 lots, all with public water and sewer. This one is up down Anderson Highway this way before you get to the where the pharmacy used to be located on the right-hand side. Those are all going to be about half-acre lots, and they'll all be single-family dwellings. We're getting towards the end of that subdivision review. They're working with the utilities department to finalize the sewer lines and what's going to be required. It took a few months to get through with VDOT to see what they were going to require as far as the entrance is concerned, whether that would require any kind of upgrades to Route 60 because of where it would be. So there's been a lot of back and forth with the state agencies regarding that subdivision. And I wanted all that to go through first before it came to you guys.
The reason I'm asking this mainly is that, we spent 20 minutes on a 7-acre or 7 property lot subdivision tonight. So if we have a 25 lot subdivision come before us, it might be nice if we could have like every possible question answered before it gets here, so we don't have to arduously go through it. Not that that's the bad practice, but
Sub 2528, the one that you just mentioned, is a 25 lot subdivision. This will have 2 VDOT standard roads and 1 private road. This is Ken Broadwater. It's off of Deep Run before you get to what I call his area where he lives in the subdivision that, I think it's Locust Grove, I believe. So he's proposing to have a larger subdivision in that area. That was just submitted a month or 2 ago. So we're still in the very preliminary review stages for that subdivision. That will probably be early spring before it'll come to you guys for that one.
You just put that 4-way stop sign in at 45 and Deep Run, and all this building there's going to end up being a traffic light there sooner or later.
Or go around.
roundabout.
That's what roundabout should have been.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And I believe the last one, Ken Broadwater, I believe that's a typo. I think that is the same one. It should be
One's 25 lots, one's
2528,
22.
one's 2546. I believe that is the same one. He only has one major subdivision,
okay.
so I'll have to look at that.
Okay.
Did you have any more questions, Mr. Donahue?
No, I don't think so. The other one I had was already answered about the tower.
Okay. Building inspection report?
For building inspections for September, there were 5 new homes, 2 commercial permits, and 56 other permits. The others could be decks, porches, garages, things of that sort. 6 certificates of occupancy with the total fees collected of just over $8,500. The total estimated value of $1.8 million added to the inventory of the homes in the county.
That's great. Do we have any general citizen comments this evening?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Betty Myers.
That's me.
Yes, I know. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Betty Myers. I live at 577 Deep Run Road. I appreciate you allowing me to speak this evening. I found it very interesting this week. I was looking at the Farmville Herald and I saw a notice that said public notices. And this one pertains to Cumberland County.
Can I get you to speak up just a little bit, please?
Pardon me?
Speak up just a little bit, please.
Oh, okay. It's interesting notices. DEQ is proposing an enforcement action for two different solar farms here in Cumberland County. Were you aware of that? Okay. Well, they give you a reference on here. So I'm retired, so I took the time today to do the research. This is related to 1671 Cumberland Solar 1 LLC. Their total enforcement debt is $186,822. The next one is 1650, again, it's Cumberland Solar. Their total indebtedness is $39,823.50, and that's related to wetlands, which is a very close subject to my heart, okay? The other one is 1650, again, it's the Cumberland Solar Farm. The enforcement is around erosion and sediment, and the total collectible fee is $211,807.50, giving us a grand total of enforcement fees of $438,453. That's a lot of money. You're talking about money that's owed to county. That's a lot of money. How much money is county going to collect from DEQ of those fees? Did you get anything? I would suggest you might want to look at this. You're talking solar farms, you're talking destruction of our environment. And this is one of my points. You do all these subdivisions and everything else like that, but you don't do any financial analysis before you approve. So does this company have the wherewithal to pay $438,453 in fines? I don't know the answer to that. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I can give you a copy of the public notice, Mr. Morrison.
I'm sorry?
Would you like a copy of the?
I would, thank you.
May I bring it up to you?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's the only public comment we have. Any comments from commissioners this evening? About anything? May we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adjourn to the next meeting scheduled for 17 November 25, or as soon as may be needed if a workshop meeting is set.
Second?
Second.
Matt Seal,
Yes.
Steve Donahue,
Yes.
Kevin Meadows,
Yes.
Hubert Allen,
Yes.
Steve Rosen,
Yes.
William Flippen.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.
Sir?
Thank you.
Thank you.